Conservation Commission is a public meeting opening at 7 p.m. at the Old Town Hall at 1111 Somerset Avenue. This meeting is video and audio recorded for cable broadcast and internet posting on www.dayton-mass.gov and YouTube. Would everyone stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Everyone has gone through the minutes for July 21st. Is there a motion to accept the minutes from that date?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes from our last meeting, the 21st of July.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Charlie doesn't vote.
He did. He did.
I was wondering if he could hear. That's what I asked.
Okay. Next on the agenda is a continued hearing from Long Built Homes. It's a notice of intent for the development of Hunters Hill Subdivision, DEP file number 17-441. Okay, Evan Watson is the representative for the applicant, and he is before us.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Evan Watson with W Engineering representing the applicant. Tonight we're just giving a little bit of an update, tell you where we're at and
Yes,
tell you
sir.
where we'd like to go. So we met with the Stormwater Committee. We did have a site walk. We took a look at what's been built out there so far and showed the example of how we'd like to continue the same type of roadways to complete the project. We've also received the technical review from the planning board from Mr. Shaheen, who reviewed all of the planning board's subdivision rules and regulations, the previously approved permit and the zoning, and we've responded to him with an updated plan set, but we did not distribute it yet. We're waiting to hear back for his acceptance of that. He's on vacation, so we don't have anything from him yet. We're also
This company, I'm sorry.
Green.
Okay, yeah.
It's and I forget the rest of
Green
it.
International.
Yes, Green International. Yep. He's on vacation, but he's back next week, so I expect to hear back from him, and I expect a pretty positive review from him. There wasn't a lot of earth-shattering comments that changed the design in any way. It was mostly just conformance with the subdivision rules and regs. So the last thing that we're waiting for is the review from this board's consultant, Niche Engineering. I did reach out to them earlier this week, hoping to have a review letter by this meeting. He responded and said he's hoping to get something out this week. Unless it came in just now, I haven't seen anything. So
He did not send anything. However, the last he said to me, which was this week, was that he was going to look at his scope and fee and see if he needed to adjust any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I figured it was based on the old plan.
sure. So if he, it's the only thing I would ask this board to do is if you folks could, or maybe through Lisa, reach out to him and see where he's at. If he does need an extra fee, we can certainly provide it immediately. And that way we can get a jump on any comments that he has and get that in the works. So we can come back next time, hopefully with a reviewed set of responses.
Okay. Lisa, you have anything else to add?
Well, I did reach out and asked him for it at the beginning of the week.
Sure, yeah.
I'm away next week, so
Okay.
I don't know if you want to follow up.
Okay.
Otherwise, when I return, I can reach out again.
Okay, I'll give him a buzz tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank
I was
you.
giving him until 6:59 today to give me the letter, which sometimes they come in like that, but yeah.
Yeah. Nice try, Evan.
Yeah, well, you never know,
So we'll have a continuance then until September 15th?
Yeah, unless there's any other questions that I could answer from anybody, certainly I could ask for a continuance. Yep.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you're gonna build the same type houses that are there now.
So those houses that were built there were built by the original
Yeah.
Applicant.
I know that.
What Long Build Homes is looking to do, it being an over 55 community, is to do like a one-level ranch house. Probably a little bit narrower, but a little bit deeper. So one level, ranch style. I don't have any of the actual floor plans with me, but
I don't need floor.
yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, and there'd be a variety depending on how the lot is set up, because there's a variety of lots. So some of them are a little bit more narrow and deep, some of them
know
are
about the
wide
lot,
and short, so.
But I'd like to get a little bit more information. Someone comes along, they buy the lot and build the house they want, or you build a house on the lot and sell it to the,
So Long Build Homes, the way they have done the subdivisions, I worked with them in the past anyways, is they have a process where you go to buy a house from Long Build Homes. They say, here's our catalog, here's your options. And you sit down with them and you basically build the house at their office. And then they actually have a factory in New Bedford where they put together all the framing and then they deliver it to the site and build it. So it's their intent to build all the houses there.
I'm good, thank you,
Yeah,
Everett.
yep. So if that's it, I would request that the board continue to the next meeting in September.
I just have a question
Yes.
unrelated to this, and yet, did you and that gentleman last month set out, you,
We did.
so it's all I'm asking, because I know he was upset and,
Yes, if you review the video from the planning board last night, his wife and their attorney appeared and said, basically, we had a discussion with the planning board and we're pretty much hashed out, or at least we're working together. And it's not, we won't have meetings like we had last time. Yeah, exactly.
okay, that was very good.
Yep.
Okay, is there a motion to continue to September 15th?
So moved.
I make a motion, we continue to
It
September
was
15th.
made.
Oh,
You're gonna second it?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much.
Adam, would you just sign this continuance, please? Sorry. Have to do it once in a while.
Okay, next on the agenda is a comprehensive subdivision that has been continued several times. And this is to construct 135 family homes and 13,137 linear feet of associated roadway off of Forest Street. The DI Trust has requested we continue this hearing until September 15. Is there a motion from a board member to continue it?
I make a motion, we continue Forest Hills Estates till the 15th of September.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Also, another continued hearing, Reed Brother Farms Limited Liability Partnership, file number 17-447. The commission voted to table at a previous meeting, continue until January 20, 2022. Outback, their engineer has requested a continuance to September 15. Is there a motion to accept that continuance?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
continue to January 22.
January 2, that was at a previous meeting.
Continuance is to 9/15/22.
This is, the Outback has requested a continuance to 9/15.
Okay.
So if we go way back in time, it was initially continued to January, and now they are.
I'll second that motion.
Just a quick update on that one. They filed with Army Corps and they're waiting for Army Corps to review the project. Hopefully this happens this fall.
Okay, and this is of course, along the riverbank.
It's restoration of riverbank, riverfront and BVW and cleanup.
Okay, so for those in attendance, across from Horton Street, There is a farm road that went into, along the river to a back parcel of property. This roadway, which was once used by tractors, was widened and other alterations made, and some debris dumped in, and now they are in restoration of this property. Okay, motion has been made and seconded.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, and they're also removing a bunch of invasive species. That's a big part of the plan.
Okay. Okay, we have another continued hearing, a notice of intent at 2396 Pleasant Street, map 20, lot 57, David Burdos, DEP file number 17-459. Lighthouse Engineering is working for them, and it's for retroactive approval of a 14 by 16 addition to a single-family home and property improvements, including a dock within the 200-foot river front of the Taunton River bordering land subject to flooding, as well as a retroactive approval for walkways and float within the bordering vegetated wetland salt marsh, bordering land subject to flooding and bank end of the Taunton River. Okay.
Good evening. Richard Reed, my name is Richard Reed from Lighthouse Land Surveying, representing Mr. Dave Burdos at 2396 Pleasant Street. As previously discussed, we're planning on making some restorations down adjacent to the Taunton River. Our last meeting, we did make a request to Division of Marine Fisheries. Prior to that meeting, they had given us some recommendations. We had taken those to heart, made those addressed comments, raising the existing dock, I think a foot, about a foot, and then also providing some stops at the existing floats. There was a question regarding Chapter 91 licensing, Waterways. We did get a little bit more information regarding that. I mean, ultimately, he does have Mr. Burdos does have an existing 10A license through the harbor master for the existing float. We do contend, okay, we can certainly proceed with, once we get approval tonight, we can then take that next step in order to investigate the Chapter 91 licensing. We've been assured that we can get a simplified license as a result. So as long as we get approval tonight. One of the predications of these proceedings with the Waterways licensing is a valid order of conditions. So.
And likewise, Charlie here has done research on that, as well as Lisa, and we are looking at approval for you tonight.
Excellent.
Does anyone in the audience have any questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the dock and
The addition.
the addition?
And
I'm sorry?
and the restoration.
And, okay, dock restoration and the
Addition.
addition, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we do that.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
And it appears as though Chapter 91 is not going to be entering into it.
It is going to be entered.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay, somewhere down the line.
yeah, it's just a simplified license application.
Yeah, we have a simplified license that Mr. Burdos can do, very similar to the 10A licensing, so
Okay.
it shouldn't be the biggest thing's getting.
Simplified licenses, everything.
Yep. Specifically for the site.
To me, this is a prime project for that.
It's probably the model that they created the simplified license for, because ultimately, you can well imagine 91 licenses are pretty busy and they're understaffed, so they increase that process.
Okay,
Perfect.
so I have 21 days to issue the permit. And please note, I'm away in the middle of that, so it will probably be closer to the 21 days, if not the week when I return, which would be the week of the 29th. So if you want to check in with me, like midweek,
Okay,
okay?
yep, perfect.
Thank you,
Excellent, thank you, Lisa.
thank you.
We have another continued hearing. It's a notice of intent, 3093 Elm Street. DEP file number 17-460, proposed detached garage, 31 by 41, within the 100-foot of a bordering vegetated wetland. Last month, there was no representation, and we
He thinks it's
issued
his
a
phone.
continuance.
Bob, it's Charlie's phone, so he can record.
Just in the nick of time.
Bob Barabee, Proline Engineering, representing Dave and Amy Tavares. As stated, it was a continuation. I think since the last meeting, it was Brandon Faniff, who originally flagged this entire piece of property, went back out to the site to verify that the flags that were put in 12 years ago or so were still valid today. And he set 3 flags out there in the vicinity of the proposed garage. You can still see the knots in the trees that were out there because this is a heavily wooded area around the wetland area. So we also staked out the proposed garage, and then I met with Lisa on site to look at the stakes. One of the flags he put in, he had the wrong number on it, so we put a new ribbon on there. But other than that, I think that everything was addressed. That this project, the closest point to the garage, to the wetland, is 51 feet. But this is where he would like to put the garage. It's detached. He wants to keep it a little bit away from his house and access it by the existing driveway that's on his property. So that's where we stand.
It's a pretty big garage.
Yeah, it's nice. I wish I had one like that.
Bob, can you just explain if there's gonna be any grading required or anything?
There's no grading required. If there's anything, he's gonna match the existing driveway in the front of the garage and then just put the foundation in around it so that he can keep the existing grade as it is. It's pretty flat right there where the garage is proposed.
That's a bigger garage than anybody needs.
Lisa, do you have comments on that, or are we all set?
Yeah, he's outside of our 50-foot no build, and we talked about maybe moving it, but if we moved it to the east, it would require grading, a substantial amount of grading, I believe.
Yeah, it does, it drops down a good 6
Yeah.
to 8 feet. And that's how he accesses the back of his property. It's not very open back there, it's all wooded, but when he comes off of his driveway by the house, that's how he gets back there. He can't access it from the other side. His septic system, as you can see, is in the front yard. All that's all wooded, so he'd like to maintain that so that he can access the backyard.
Do you have the boundaries of the garage staked?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we
with
went
the
out and
four
did
corners.
we did a site visit.
Okay.
Bob and I did, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we're looking for closure on this application. Is there a motion to
How about
accept?
comments from the,
Okay. Anyone in the audience have comments?
on this particular? Okay, good.
Okay, is there a motion to accept?
I make a motion, we accept the deal on 3093 Elm Street.
Okay, second?
Second.
Is there a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
For this one, I have orders for you guys to sign. I'm trying to simplify my life when I return from vacation. Here.
Okay,
Can you sign two so that we can keep one?
Okay.
Because I don't have a copy over here.
okay, well, we have to have a motion to accept this first, okay? Under new hearings, we have a notice of intent at 2040 County Street, file number 17-462. It's a restoration of disturbed areas in a buffer zone and to reestablish the limits of the wetland and incorporate a 25-foot undisturbed vegetation zone as required by the local bylaw. Bob, you're going to speak on this?
No, that's a different filing. This is for 3093, the orders for 3093 Elm. I just put in front of you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll get that signed, but since I opened up the new hearing, let's go to that
You
one.
can't. I'm not around.
Let's go to the new hearing at 2040 County Street, since I just opened that. We'll get this signed right after this.
You jumped the hearing.
Bob, can you just wait until we're done? I'm sorry. Yeah. Well,
Okay, all right, I did.
Leah's not here tonight.
Okay, since I jumped that, then let's get this here signed then.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Not very good.
It's okay, Jim.
Okay.
I'm only taking a week off, but, you know, just 1 week such a bad month, I feel. Dreading it.
No, this is it right here.
This is this?
Yeah.
Okay. Push this together.
Okay, Jack, that one there has to go back to Charlie for signing.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
There's one in between.
Oh, he's jumped more than one then.
Yeah, but the one in between, they're continuing anyway, so you might as well step up.
There's a phone here. Who left their phone?
That's my ears, don't pull them.
Oh, it's Charlie's phone.
It's Charlie's ears.
I'll walk it down, probably
Okay.
just as easy.
Thank you.
All 22 of them or whatever.
Great.
There's two
Great.
fresh plants. It gave me some.
Appreciate that.
Me too.
Thank you.
That goes to Lisa, the other one, that's all signed. Yeah. Oh, you got that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a continued hearing, an abbreviated notice of intent, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for Pleasant Street and Main Street, Elm Street as well. This is filed by Zeneca Incorporated and the Geosyntec Consultants. This is to confirm the jurisdictional boundaries of the bordering vegetated wetland, salt marsh bank, and riverfront area. We have a peer review checking out the wetland flagging, and that is continuing. It's an area that is quite extensive. And Lisa, they've asked for a continuance?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Beta is actually adjusting their fee. Did you get a copy of that?
It's here for signing tonight.
It's on there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, is there a motion to continue the hearing for Zeneca?
So moved.
Second?
Second it?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
When's that? When is it? September?
September
September
15th.
15th.
Would you like to know a little bit more? Like, I know we can't discuss it, but I can tell you what's going
He
on.
was involved with checking out, following up, right, they were following up on what
No, what they did was they flagged the wetlands.
They already did it?
They already
Zeneca did.
Yeah, Zeneca had a wetland scientist group flag the wetlands.
How long ago was that?
Within the past 6 months or so, and this growing season. And now what's happening is through the 53G process, the town is allowed to hire our own consultant to review it. Because it's I don't know if it's a Superfund site, but it's a dirty site. There's a lot of red tape to even walk on it. So right now, our consultant's going through a little bit of red tape.
Now, is a lot of that on Money Cove, or is that all across the street in,
Yeah, it's the whole property, yeah,
which goes on both sides of?
Right.
38?
yeah.
So it's been moved till next month?
Yep, and so there's no work involved, just so you know. This is simply to determine the edge of the wetland, the resources, so that they know going forward what they actually have on the property for wetland resources.
This has nothing to do with cleanup or anything like that?
Not yet, but when they go to do that, if and when, you'll get another notice through the Wetlands Protection Act. Okay?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
What location was that?
Zeneca, 0 Main, 0 Elm, 0 Pleasant. It's across from, the land across from the fire station.
Okay. Continued to.
Sorry, Mark.
Okay, now we have a new hearing, a notice of intent at 2040 County Street, file number 17-462, restoration of disturbed areas in the buffer zone.
Good
Here's-
evening.
here's the plan.
My name's Mark Rodericks. I'm from Analysis and Design Engineering. I'm representing Jeffrey Rodericks on the property at 2040 County Street, previously known as the old Dayton Sawmill. Charlie, you might have some memories of, we've been there before, almost identically, just 13 years gone by.
There used to be another sawmill up on the hill behind it, so that's the second sawmill. That was actually a dairy farm.
Really? I didn't know that at all.
They used to milk cows there.
Small world. So what we've got here today is, as stated, we've got proposing some activities in the buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland, and restoration activities are proposed for that site, as was initially proposed in an order of conditions a number of years ago, and we're revisiting the site now to complete and close out the process of restoring those wetlands in accordance with the guidelines that your commission's providing. The wetlands shown on the plan that was prepared by Analysis and Design Engineering was delineated by James Walsh, environmental consultant. Lisa's been on the site to review those. We've had a couple times that we've gone around to get those wetland flags correct during the growing season. There is a 25-foot no activity zone that's delineated on the plan around those wetlands that is intended to be demarked by either a fence type system or any stakes with wetlands delineation markings per pending discussion from the Conservation Commission. There's activities within that buffer zone which consists right now of a graveled area with some evidence of disturbance and erosion in that area that we wish to clean up to prevent any more continued erosion and invasion of the wetlands. Back in '04, I believe, there were wetland delineation that was done, and over the course of the years, that wetland has encroached some 25 feet into that area. So over those years, those wetlands have begun to move into the area. So our intent here is to control that continued activity and then get a demarcation and keep the site for any further invasion into the wetlands with the 25-foot no activity zone. A number of restorative activities have been proposed on the plan. I'll quickly go down that list as on the plan. Prior to the commencement of any restorative activities, we got straw wattle that we'd like to install along that delineated wetlands line. Secondly, as I mentioned, we want fencing or post-mounted signs per Conservation Commission guidance to be installed to establish a permanent demarcation of that 25-foot no-activity zone. Third, a 25-foot between the 25-foot no-activity zone and all other areas between the BVW limits and the proposed fencing. We'd like to revegetate that area with a conservation seed mix with native herbaceous plants. So get some plantings in there to get a nice, healthy, no-activity zone planted. The fourth item would be that the existing stockpile soil, the loam that's on the site, we want to have that removed from the site. And lastly, we are looking to have the disturbed area between the fencing, northerly, southerly property lines, and County Street to resurface with the packed gravel or other suitable material to minimize dust and further erosion. So those are the proposed activities as shown on the plan that we're looking for the endorsement under an order of conditions from Conservation. That's all.
You have no problem with the delineation?
Oh, no, no problem with the delineation, and I appreciate the fact that they're gonna, restore. And they obviously pulled that, what was it, a tractor, backhoe?
Yeah, there's been some legacy equipment that's been in that area for years that is no longer in that area right along the property line, the buffering, BVW.
Anyone here have any questions?
No, I mean, they,
Lisa?
pulled it back and cleaned it up, so
Yeah.
it's,
The resurfacing, I just wanted to ask if you checked with the Stormwater Committee, if you thought, if maybe they may require you to file with them for that, I don't know.
I did hand deliver the plans to Todd.
Yeah.
And I discussed the fact that we were looking to resurface to mitigate controls of erosion and dust, and he had nothing to say at that time. He was familiar with the site. I believe he actually visited the site
Yeah.
with you in that area.
Previously, yeah.
So there was
Resurfacing with asphalt or? are you-
no, sir.
Oh.
No, sir. There's a lot of erosion there, and there's ruts and valleys, and it's
So
very,
stone
very.
dust or something like that?
Correct, yes. Whatever suitable material that, if you have any preferences, but it's not an asphalted area.
And you're not changing the grade of it?
No,
doing-
sir, no. There's no grade changes. It's just a little ruddy, so technically no, but, get it cleaned up and,
Well, that would be in the order of conditions.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're gonna approve this plan, and
Yeah.
that's, yeah.
Any comments from the audience?
These are the signs.
Okay.
You'll have to speak with the owner to see what they, so you won't take them today, but.
Can I take one?
One, yeah.
let me have one, that's cute. Okay.
All right.
Like a little.
Coaster?
Yeah.
Oh.
So however you prefer that, right now, the intent was to put a fence there. Perhaps a split rail fence would be something like that.
Be careful.
Fence,
Yeah.
fence sounds good.
Yeah, that's sort of what we're thinking we'd do. That has also been demarked already, so the limits of that fence as per your plan are marked on the site.
And maybe some of those so
Yeah,
that
no,
people
I know.
understand the purpose of the fence.
Yes, well, certainly it'll keep people from going in there with anything.
Right.
Yep, so in the order, we'll
yeah, though.
determine how many, it's based on the number of wetland flags on site. They're gonna be placed approximately 30 feet apart on that.
And I believe that's something that in your order of conditions,
Yes.
if you wanted to define that for the property owner,
Yeah,
then we can accommodate that.
of course.
Okay, Jack, you all set?
Just to disclose
I
though,
was
we
just
may-
looking for the catch basin, which I think is the town's off of Main Street.
Yes, sir?
Mr. Ferry in the back.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I just wondered how this was gonna affect
On,
the flow from there over to the,
on-
underground culvert.
Over the past couple days, I've been working with Lisa, and we did actually identify where that bulkhead is located. You may have the plans that were submitted with the original submittal. I've provided updated plans that show the location of that bulkhead,
it's the approximate, give or take.
give or take a couple feet.
Right next to the old church property.
That is,
Right.
that is exactly correct, and I got an aerial photograph from Lisa, and We worked to show that on the plan. So the new plan actually shows the approximate location of the bulkhead, the direction of flow from north to south towards Main Street, across Main Street and down towards Muddy Cove. And it's on the order of, I didn't scale the measurement, but it's on the order of 100 feet away from where these activities are proposed.
Yeah.
So I don't see any implications or impact whatsoever to the continued flow from that underground culvert on the property off-site crossing Main Street.
Yeah, and Mark has no, go ahead.
Tom, you'd like to speak?
Yes, sir. This sounds.
Tom, come up so we can hear you, please.
I just wanted to note that Mark has noted the FEMA flood zone AE is involved with the site, overlays it, and that there is hydrologic connection to that BVW to Muddy Cove.
Okay, Tom.
Sir, how are you? Nice to see you again.
Here's my card.
I got your name. I remember.
Yes, everything sounds well done. Yes, all that property flows into our system. It doesn't go, I guess there was a question, it went the other way. You know, we take all their water off of that property. It seems to be a big bowl in that whole area. I only raised my hand just so we're not playing catch up on another issue, was removing the loom. I don't know how much, and then I don't believe it can leave town.
No, it's gotta stay in town.
Right. That was the only issue.
I did not know that, but it's a big pile
If-
of
if-
loom
if-
that's
if it could
right
be-
in the area.
If
and-
if it's beyond so many yards, they'll fill you in on the order, it's a condition.
I'm good with that. Not familiar with that regulation, so any guidance you'll give us, I can pass along to
I
the
believe
property
that
owners.
the soil board,
The soil board, yes.
is that still functioning, the soil board?
Find some buyers in town. There's plenty.
There's a possibility that perhaps the loom, which is currently in that buffer zone area, or actually right into the buffer zone, or the wetlands, might just be moved into the area where we're continuing to resurface. But again,
That
any
makes sense.
guide, that would,
Probably where it came from.
yes.
I don't know.
But it's too close to everything right now, so Lisa and I had discussed getting it out of there.
Good.
Okay.
It's a pretty good sized pile of loom. Should sell it, it's worth money these days.
It is.
We have a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions.
Yeah, I make a motion, we close the hearing on 2040 County Street and issue an order of condition.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're good to go.
Thank you. Nice seeing you again, Charlie. It's been a long time. Yes.
Different Mark.
It's, yeah.
Well, I've had that for a while, too.
Yeah.
And Mark, I'm away next week, so just give me, I might take the whole 21 days, but I will issue this.
Well, at least we've got something to start planning for those activities right now with the endorsement tonight, so it'll give my client a chance to start to get his act together.
Correct.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
And I didn't touch your phone, Charlie.
Stay healthy.
Oh, Jesus,
Okay.
we lose one,
All
we
right,
gain.
we have a new hearing. It's a notice of intent on Morris Lane, map 9, lot 57-5. This hearing is held under the Dayton Wetlands Bylaw Regulation. The work proposed includes a single-family home on a lot that contains a conservation restriction area issued by the National Heritage Endangered Species Protection Division of Massachusetts. Fish and Wildlife. The conservation restriction area of this lot is under the protection of the Dayton Conservation Commission. DEP has determined that no file number will be issued for this project because there are no wetlands or buffer zone protection by the Wetland Act regulation on the site. And the order conditions issued for this subdivision that require NOI filings for all existing lots has expired.
Good evening. My name is David Santos with Prime Engineering.
David Santos?
David Santos, yes. with Prime Engineering, representing the applicant here, who's with us here today, Rick Bissett. We are proposing to build a single-family dwelling with a septic system on the lot, and all proposed work is in a non-jurisdictional area. There are no wetlands or buffer zones, as you just said here. As you can see in the plan, we do have the conservation area in the rear of the lot, and again, I'd like to stress that no work is being proposed in that area. We still do have a natural heritage permit that's still valid until 2024. So we still have those conditions that we are abiding to.
Okay, Lisa,
I just wanted to correct you. I think it's only until 2023.
We actually just got a letter because of a COVID
2024.
a COVID protocol. They extended it another year. I have that letter for you
Okay.
today if you'd like that.
and this filing is a result of a general condition that was issued years ago saying that all house lots had to file to make sure that there weren't any wetland violations.
Conservation restriction violations.
Okay.
Could you please email me a copy of that when you have time? I appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay. Does anyone here have any
No questions.
No, I mean, it's,
Lisa, you don't, you didn't?
I don't have any questions regarding this project, but when we close this, I mean, I do have questions about if the natural heritage orders were complied with
Okay.
because of a recent letter that just came out, but I don't have questions regarding this.
They must have been complied with because this is a lot that we approved.
No, what I'm referring to is the new letter that just came out. I forwarded.
About wetland violations.
No, I'm not talking about wetland violations. I'm talking about natural heritage orders that,
Somebody complained to National Heritage, if I followed the email chain correctly.
but no, this was previous to that. That was the beginning of July. Natural Heritage tried to reach out to the developer. She still had the old developer's contact information. She didn't even have my contact information. And she wrote a letter saying, hey, I haven't heard anything from you guys about, what's going on with the turtles. Are you monitoring this, that, the other thing? And she's asking for an update because she hasn't gotten any information over the years from them. So the old developer didn't do anything, and now Mr. Aguirre reached out to Mr. Bissett today. So hopefully we can make sure that those turtles and the turtle habitat's still being,
All the habitats are intact.
right. But there was certain monitoring requirements and things, but that has nothing to do with this hearing. Yeah.
Any, one in the audience have a question? Okay.
Hi, yes, good evening, Attorney John Zajac. I'm here on behalf of Donna Cameron Greca. She's the owner of the property at 738 Center Street. So that's the direct abutter to the east of this lot. And we just wanted to understand how the...
Sir?
Yes. I'm sorry, Attorney, sorry.
Okay.
We wanted to get a better understanding of how this proposed development was going to be configured relative to the conservation restriction on the back of the lot. And my client didn't have an opportunity to see the plan before, so the septic system is going to be in the very front of the lot?
Correct, yep,
Okay.
alongside the cul-de-sac there.
Is that, even though there's no wetlands on the lot, the DEP maps show wetlands right off the lot?
Yes, those wetlands were delineated back in 2005 and approved. They have also just been recently looked at by the commission.
Really?
When we did the lot 9 and 8, those are the wetlands that I'm sorry.
Where are the wetlands? There's no wetland flags on this.
No, there's no wetlands on this lot. He's referring to across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what Mass DEP shows roughly on their aerial imagery.
Okay.
So is the septic system, how close is the septic system to the wetlands, even if there's no wetlands on the lot?
It's what, the entire lot's over 200 feet from those wetlands.
They have to be at least 100 feet from, so they're specifically how many feet away?
I believe it's
The
just
septic-
about 200 feet.
Septic system is?
Yeah, well, the entire lot, the septic system is more than 200.
Right. Yeah, this lot is at the end of the subdivision on the northeast side. So if you go to the cul-de-sac and you look towards this way, that's where that lot is.
Then maybe you can help me. So this is the lot, correct?
Correct. And those are that's the Mass DEP overlay, but the actual wetlands that were delineated are. if you look at
That
the
mapping
same-
is never correct, just so you know.
It's up here inside of this lot 8 here, 57-8.
I'll
So it's more to the east.
Okay. Would it be, could we get a copy of the delineation just so I can?
Yeah.
Okay. I just, obviously I understand the regulations of the board and what the purpose of, this is. My client did want me to express that she's owned the property, abutting this since 1982. Although she doesn't live there, she's a very hands-on, property owner for the multifamily that she owns there. You know,
Most of the lots on that side of the street abut her property.
Yes, they do, that's correct.
That's the last one.
Correct, yeah. And, you know, over the years, she's certainly observed a lot less, animals and wildlife in the area declining since this has been built, and a lot less wetlands in the area. Now, that's understandable, we understand that wetlands lines change all the time, and if they've been flagged and the septic system is not in the, if it's the appropriate distance away, then it's the appropriate distance away, but.
It is, you know, and as far as how wet things are depends upon the individual year. Right now, we are entering an extreme drought. Come visit my garden and it's powder. And as far as animals, they move with where the water is, or they just move where the people aren't.
Sure, and understandably, we know that natural heritage is also involved with this, and
Yes.
they're,
Well, they're the ones that set up the conservation restricted areas.
right, exactly. I think that was
And
approved.
so far, every lot has honored those restrictions.
Some do and some don't, but then there was a whole other restricted area that was approved in 2006 by Mr. Lang. Mr. Lang was the.
Well, every lot
developer.
has limits of that restricted area posted in the yard.
Mhm.
And this one will,
Do you wanna see this plan, so you can?
turn that around if you like.
This is your property. This is the restricted area that they are staying on. This is where they're locating the house. And this is where they're locating the septic system. And although the assessor's map shows wetlands nearby, they're saying that the actual flagging of them shows them further away.
So the septic system appears like it's gonna be to my property.
No, it's within the lot, and it's actually further away from your property because it's on the cul-de-sac. The house is set further back.
The wetlands are definitely disappearing.
Frankly, I have to say for the record, I tell everybody every single meeting and every time anyone calls me, you cannot go on the wetlands that are shown on assessor's maps or mapping. The only, how we do it, wetland scientists do it, is by going to the site and looking at soils mapping. You have to actually check out the soils mapping, and the soils mapping shows your lot and this lot as Paxton and Deerfield. Those are two very sandy, not hydric soils. So, correct?
Correct.
So, most of the property is Paxton and Deerfield. There's some Windsor and some Ridgebury. Windsor has some hydric characteristics, so there's some wetlands within Windsor. I believe. And then Ridgeberry is always hydric. Ridgeberry is found at the front where they have the original crossing. Other than that, you have wetlands, maybe isolated wetlands throughout these sandy areas, but otherwise you don't have extensive bordering vegetated wetlands. But at the front of the lot is definitely wet, and before Center Street came in, it definitely connected to the south.
Now, should I mention what the pipeline would be to Center Street?
If you'd like to, sure.
I was told by a neighbor that, before the houses were put in, that he was convinced by somebody that worked at Dayton Town Hall to run a pipe beneath Center Street. And actually, a surveyor gave me a copy of where the wetlands used to be, including where the pipe went. So, I mean, why are they draining the wetlands?
I believe that was an existing culvert running from one side of the road to the other.
The
And,
gentleman was complaining about it.
and last year, people were
That
complaining it
culvert
was
has
too
been
wet.
there for years.
Pardon me?
That culvert has been there for many, many years.
I couldn't hear what he said.
I said the culvert has been there for many, many years.
No, the gentleman I spoke to said it was going over to his land.
If it's out in front by
So
Maris
he was
Lane,
complaining because there was so much water, more than he anticipated. So anyway,
the pipe by Maris Lane on Center Street that runs under Center Street has been there many, many years. A long time. Longer than you've owned your property. And I'm just stating facts. We have a highway superintendent back there that can probably verify that.
so anyway, it's appropriate to have a pipe beneath Center Street.
Yeah,
Something that's
there's quite a few of them.
condoned.
They're all over the town.
Quite a few of them.
All over the state, all over. Because back then, we didn't have the Wetlands Protection Act, right? And they wanted to put roads, so they had to do something with the water.
Is the turtle even there anymore?
Oh, as far as the turtles go, that's natural heritage. I don't know if the turtles are there. I hope so.
Well, I know that the other things that we used to see are no longer seem to be around the property. Yep, the rare.
Well, when you move in, something's gotta move out. I'm not saying that negatively, but everyone wants a house that comes into Dayton, and when they cut trees to put a house in, and, you know, something gives. You know, we can't shut down the town of Dayton and say nobody else can move into Dayton. You know, this is life, unfortunately, as far as the wildlife goes. We can try to protect them as much as we can, and we do. That's our job with wetlands, and now with the better regulations for wetlands, there's more protection also for the wildlife.
There's a lot more education than there used to be. You know, in the 70s, 80s, you know, you talk about protecting a wetland and people just wanted to dump their trash there, you know what I mean? Now it's a lot different. Your call to natural heritage, did you call natural heritage? I believe it spurred a little more investigating into whether the turtles are being taken care of, so I appreciate that.
Okay, all right, are we all set? I would like to close the hearing.
Questions, sir?
I don't think any questions will do any good.
Okay. Thank you all.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to close the hearing and issue an order of conditions?
So moved.
Second?
I
I'll
have a
second it.
Okay, seconded by Jack.
Can
All in favor? All right.
Can we just clarify, how am I issuing these? It's not gonna be under the DEP.
No, they know that. We're just gonna issue an order of conditions.
So no,
Yeah, under our bylaw.
Under our bylaw.
that'll be new and different. Okay,
Yes, definitely.
Oh, it's the second time we've done it.
okay.
Do you still want the green cards, the notification
Yes,
cards?
please. And I assume you paid for your legal
Yes.
ad? You
Yep.
don't get a file number, so we're good in that?
Okay.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay.
And I still have the building permit application, so I'll be back on the 29th if you want. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, next, we have a new hearing. It's an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, also known as an NRAD, by Leopold Specht, 1130 Brick Street, map 8, lot 6-2. This resource includes, but are not limited to, the bordering vegetated wetland, 100-foot linear riparian, and a 200-foot outer riparian zone. This is along the Segregansett River. Is there representation here? Okay. Lisa, we had a problem in that we have an old order of conditions.
Yeah, we can't open the new one till we get the old one taken care
Okay.
of, which is why I think Scott's here to tell us.
Yeah, we can't find the old one, Mr. Chairman. My client, Mr. Speck, doesn't remember filing for an order of conditions. There's nothing at the registry. So if an order of conditions was issued, which, you know,
Never filed.
I'm sorry?
I never filed.
It never got recorded. So you guys gave it to him, and I don't know if the work, I don't even know what the work was
Actually,
that you folks permitted.
The gentleman from Berkeley, we have the old mill.
Yep. Inside,
Him.
yep.
And this is I'm gonna call it the dam, the earthen dam,
Yeah.
on the backside of that building.
Yep.
With the water. Is there any water in that pond now?
Yeah.
Or is it there is?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yep.
That's surprising.
Well, I haven't been there in the last few weeks, but there was up until a month ago, yeah.
There's water in it because it's still trickling by my house.
Yep.
Oh, okay, and that's all you're getting is a trickle.
Yeah, but up to a month ago, there was still water, so, as I said, I'm not even sure what work was permitted, if it was ever started or completed. If it wasn't,
He permitted it, I permitted it, and you may have permitted it.
Yeah, I was up there many times looking. As a matter of fact, that fellow from Berkeley took me into the building he was restoring.
Yeah.
He was so proud of it.
oh, it's a
David Wilson.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful building. You know, whoever did the work there did a nice job remodeling it on the inside.
It looks like it just been built.
Yeah, yeah.
So my concern is that we can't open the public hearing anyway because the abutters weren't notified.
Understood.
All right,
Yep.
as long as you understand.
Yep, but I guess I need to close out that old hearing. Am I filing a certificate of compliance for work I don't know if it was done, because I don't have a permit?
Well, you've got the old order of conditions now.
No, that's the problem.
I can't understand why we can't find a old order of conditions. It wasn't that long.
Charlie has it.
Huh?
Charlie has it.
I doubt it, but I may have. I'll look.
I don't know.
It wasn't that long ago. We should have a
I-
copy of it
Copy
somewhere.
of my zip drive.
I don't have it.
Yeah,
looked.
I think Lisa said 2015
Yeah, oh, yeah.
was the
Right.
date, 2015.
So I think you can contact the assessor's office. Did you go on the registry and try to find it?
Yes, yeah, it's not
Oh,
at the
you
registry.
did.
It was not recorded.
But you have the date.
I just have the date that Lisa said she thought it was 2015. Whether she got that from Charlie or just took a guess, I'm not sure.
It was on a spreadsheet we have,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not that long ago. We should have a copy of that somewhere.
I'll look.
Okay.
I can remember monitoring the project.
Charlie, if you want to look next week when I'm not here, you can look on the files again, but I looked for the electronic file, I didn't find it.
It's somewhere, and we'll find it.
I'll just check my zip drive, and if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I would, especially since you guys went out there and looked at it, I think if you visit the site now,
We watch it being built.
and there's nothing,
The wall is still there.
and if you look at it, it doesn't look like anything is wrong. So I'm assuming they did what they were supposed to. I would think we could ask for a certificate of compliance and everybody would be comfortable that they probably did what they were supposed to.
Bob Berry was, built the wall. He presented the plans to us.
Oh, call Bob Barabee. Call Proline, he was here
Proline
tonight.
Engineering.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Good memory.
Consultant of record.
All right, I'll see if he can help me out. But as I said, I mean, the site looks beautiful, so I'm sure they did what they were supposed to do.
They
and
did.
You guys were happy, and I don't think it'd be a problem to get the certificate of compliance, so it's just a matter of jumping through those
The
hoops.
contract is still right in Berkeley,
Yep,
you know? David Wilson,
yep.
I mean, he might have some dates or ideas.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
see
he's got
him
something.
around town a
Yep.
lot, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, he-
Wilson that did it?
All right, now,
Wilson that did it?
having,
yeah, Dave, yeah.
so if we can straighten that out, the other thing, obviously, it's a big site. We need, I think, the contract with Beta to review it. Can we start that process? To at least get a contract
It's
from them?
up to you
or-
guys. No. Because we can't open the hearing. I mean, yeah.
You know what's coming up though, that site is huge.
Yes, 37
Huge.
acres.
But it won't take Beta very long to review that.
It's a day's work, you know, honestly, it's a day.
A day or two.
It took a day to flag it, it took us a day to survey it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a day. I mean, it is a big site, and it's, you know, it's a good chunk of work, but it's a day's work.
It's too much for me
Yeah.
on my part-time hours.
Yeah, you'll use up your whole
Yeah,
week's worth of hours
half of my week.
walking
yeah.
around, yeah. No, I agree. We just want to try to get the ball rolling, but if we've got to take care of that issue first, I mean, that's the problem. I got to take care of that issue first, so I'm not going to be able to open this hearing up until November at this point.
Well, September,
We can open the hearing.
no.
We can't because the abutters weren't notified.
But I could notify the abutters for September if you're okay with opening the hearing, me notifying the abutters before a certificate of compliance was issued on the old one.
Can we try to get the certificate of compliance request ready for September, maybe? I don't know, yeah.
If
We can do it concurrently, put it on the agenda.
If it's never been filed in the registry, it's just a waste of time. Technically, it's not filed,
Okay.
even though we held hearings.
Yeah, one of
and
the-
we issued an order of conditions.
Exactly, even though the work was done technically.
It's not,
One of the,
it's,
yeah,
it's a dead.
It's
horse.
not legal.
yeah. But there is a box, one of the boxes you can check off on the certificate of compliance. You know, there's one that says work was never completed, work was never done. There's some box that we can check off on the certificate so you guys can sign off on it.
But attest the work was done.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
You know, the area, it's a beautiful job, because I was up there, multiple times.
agreed, yep. All right,
I back my car right up along the building
Yeah.
and check out everything.
yep. I think we can, I'm sure we can work through it. So, okay.
So can we postpone this to next hearing, and then we'll all work to get it straightened out?
Understood. That'll be
Do
perfect.
my part, you do your part.
Okay, yep. I'll contact Bob
We'll all
Barabee.
raise our hands.
You sue if you've got it in your home file somewhere, and we'll talk in the next week or
I've
two.
got a zip drive for most of home, but
Yep,
before I started using the zip drive, I had little problems with my computer now and then.
sure. Understood. Okay, guys.
Okay, so, but you are aware, certain, there will be 53G account opening and, you know,
Understood.
yeah.
Actually, Lisa, can we get started on that?
So,
Set
okay,
up a
so
53G
you're
account?
going to
Bill just said no.
notify everybody. I don't even know what to write here. I can't really say continued to.
Because we didn't open anything,
to
so.
We will open in September.
Yep,
Yeah.
To
so
be
it'll be a
opened.
new hearing to be opened. I'll advertise it, we'll re-advertise, we'll notify abutters for the September meeting.
Good.
Scott.
Okay.
I need a motion.
I don't know, we don't have a hearing.
Yeah, it wasn't open, so I don't think we need to move anything.
I have another certificate of compliance request here. So,
The work has been satisfactory, portion of the work have been completed.
we don't know.
Yep, it's lapsed, therefore no longer valid, but that says the work was never started, so we know it was.
Yeah, it
I
was-
think we'll be okay with one of those.
And then
Wait.
the thing is that we are gonna have to have a quick site visit.
Yeah, yep,
All right,
okay. We'll get through it.
thank you.
Okay, good, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. So if that comes in, we'll take care of his application will come second after we do any, certificate of compliance. We can still issue one.
I couldn't
Okay.
hear you, Jim.
I said, if Charlie finds that and we have, or he gets it from the engineer, we can, work on that first for a certificate of compliance, since we all say it was done properly. And then
It was, yeah.
And then open this up after that is issued, after that's voted on.
You've got to be able to find something, it wasn't that long ago.
I don't know what would have happened. Okay, we have a new hearing, a notice of intent by Matthew Matozo, 1566 Cedar Street, map 15, lot 4-1 and 2, for an addition to an existing house and the restoration, and alteration of the BVW, file number 17-463.
Is this all of them?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looks just like the big one.
That's what it's supposed to be, hopefully.
Evening, John D'Souza from North County Group.
John?
Yep,
John Souza.
yeah. Here, I'll hand you my card so you can.
Oh, good, thank you. D'Souza.
That's Susan with an S.
Oh, well, then that's, and I already get the
That's
Z
right,
in
with an S. I'm from the islands.
Which I,
It's Santa Maria. Yeah, but it's got an airport. All right, so my client had to purchase this property in regards to hopefully doing some agricultural use on the property. He noted that there was a riding ring previously on the property. We had a meeting a few months ago where I showed the photographs to the commission showing that this property has been basically utilized up to the bordering vegetated wetlands up to that point. My client has also filed under Chapter 61A to put the property into the Farmers Act, as he is going to do some horse riding on the property and training, and also he has some agriculture that he's going to sell. Also, we'll possibly have some bees out there for honey as well. There's some extensive areas that need to be cleaned up. Granted, my client probably added to some of that, but at the same time, most of that was already on the premises. A lot of the area that was messed up that is going to clean up is shaded in the gray area up of this portion here where the Woods Road is at. There's a lot of trash out there and whatnot. He's going to clean up. I know there's some just a little bit of invasives up in that area that he's going to remove as well. At the same time, he is looking to put in a small addition on the backside of the house. That will be 40 and a half feet from the wetland. That's basically going to be just an add-on. I believe they're adding adding a bedroom to the back side of the property. He's also looking to put in a riding ring, a couple of paddock areas, and some gated areas for the agricultural use as well. The site that is there is mainly disturbed right now. He is not bringing in any asphalt to the area, but he will grade the areas off with like a hard pack just to stabilize them, because some of it is not stable at this point in time. He currently has some, I believe, 1 or 2 horses already, and he's got some goats as well. They're in that small barn and livestock, which is basically right in the middle of the yard right there. And I know that Lisa has gone out here a few times. I forget the person's name that flagged the wetlands.
Stephen
Shamil.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there. He had flagged the wetlands. There was another company that located the wetland flags, and we went out to verify those locations on the plan as well. So the biggest thing with this is that because the property is over the 5 acres and he wants to obtain an agricultural use, it's been submitted to the assessor's office already to put this into the Chapter 61A as well.
Okay, are you set? Are you finished?
I am.
Okay. First of all, your proposed addition to the house is in the no-build zone. We have a 50-foot no-build zone, and that is a no-go. You have the riding ring in the, it appears as though it's in the wetlands, which would have to be moved from there to at least 50 feet away to another area to protect the wetlands. There is an abandoned roadway that goes to the back, which is in the wetlands, and which you wish to open up. You also have a spoils area in the buffer zone. You have a temporary spoil stockpile in the buffer zone. There is certainly no need to have that. Now, a plan was submitted to us by a previous consultant, which is much more satisfactory to us than the plan that you presented to us. It does not include the addition.
Previous.
Or maybe it could be put on the other side of the house, out of the 50-foot no-touch zone. The riding ring to be moved from the wetland area, or at least the 25-foot no-touch zone. I'm not sure. I think it's in the no-touch zone. Over here, Bill.
Yeah, I know where it is.
Okay, and and that roadway going to the back is only going to create a tremendous amount of problems because it just goes into more wetlands. So the only reason to have it is to, I don't know why, because
It's there.
but dealt with the west, but for how long has it been existing? That's a violation in its own.
That road's been there since those pictures that I showed you that went all the way back to early 90s.
In a site visit with Mr. Matoso, he expressed that he'd be willing to, restore the wetlands. and leave this back part alone. So that old plan presented to us, given to us by Zenith, Zenith previously represents what he had been willing to do previously until he dumped the other.
No.
Stephen Schmiel and Zenith came up with that.
This is a previous.
Yeah, I know, I remember.
Okay, so, yes, that riding ring is in filled wetlands.
The riding ring is also shown in the previous spot of the original riding ring that was back even in 2007.
I would think he'd want a riding rink in Upland, so it wouldn't get muddy when he wanted to use it.
Yeah, I mean...
It's been filled,
If it's
though.
in a wetland, it's gonna get muddy.
It's been filled, Bill. It's all filled.
But now you're gonna need something there, some construction in that area to make the ring,
Yep.
which would be in the no-build zone, whether it's fencing or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
The ring is in the same spot that was originally shown back in 2007.
And how are you
Shown
gonna
to
contain it?
who?
Off aerial mapping. And I showed that, all those photographs to the commissioner
So
a couple of months ago.
he added the paddock, not the ring,
Right, the ring was there back in 2007.
but he upgraded the ring. A bog was actually, I think it was a bog that was filled in previously.
Well,
I know
that
it wasn't.
wetland was an old cranberry bog.
I mean, I'd like to not require him to do everything, knowing that he didn't do everything. But the plan you presented, as opposed to the plan that Zenith had previously showed us,
Yep.
is not, it's not even in the middle.
Well, it's more in the middle. What Zenith showed you is him basically taking ownership for every single disturbance that occurred on that property before he even owned it. And to me, I can't understand why somebody would require somebody to restore a wetland that they had no part of filling in or making it worse. I understand there's vegetation out there that needs to be cleaned up. My client has no problem with that. He's willing to allow the whole back portion to regrow and revegetate after he cleans that up. But in doing so, and under the Farmers Act, he wants to add on the riding ring, bring it back the way it was to 2007.
Was it ever permitted?
I don't know.
They would know.
You need a permit for a riding ring?
In the wetland. I don't think you'd give one.
There's racehorses that like to run on a wet track. They call them mudders.
You know, a lot of that could be brought to the south, and it would make for a much nicer riding area. The paddock you have at the wetlands edge and in the no build zone, the paddock is going to require extensive fencing, which is former construction. That's not going to go. That too could get moved to the east and be out of the area. So a lot of what he has, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's poorly located.
Well,
and definitely the building, the addition is within the definite no-touch zone, no build zone.
Well, it is up into that point, but if the property is into the Farmers Act, the same wetland regulations do not apply to it. Not all local, but yes.
We uphold our 50-foot condo here in Dayton. I told Matt a year and a half ago that he wasn't gonna be able to put the addition closer to 50 feet, so. He has plenty of area to the east to add on to his house.
There's plenty to the east. So, you know, I mean, it's just, there's gotta be a lot of, as I see it anyway, a lot of redesigning of what he wants, location-wise.
And is there a planting plan that goes with this, or no planting plan?
There should have been a sheet too. That, I don't see it, because there was a planting plan, and also it had the schedule to go with it.
One sheet submitted originally on dated 6/29.
All right, I'll just see what happened, but there was a planting plan that went along for the backside of the property.
Previous owner had to do restoration. I'm not sure it's a form that my person sought out, but we do have a record of that. somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
The unfortunate part is that when you buy property, you buy the defects that come along with it.
That is true, but at the same time, you should not be held accountable for somebody else's mistakes and errors. So, I mean, we all know it all happens. Somebody buys a piece of property, they fill in wetlands, they throw trash in there, whatever. And then somebody comes along, they want to upkeep the property, and they're willing to sacrifice their time, money, materials, and whatnot to remove somebody else's garbage from the resource area.
That's what happens.
Buyer beware.
Yeah, buyer beware, but at the same time, he's not at fault, so he can't be held liable for it either.
You keep saying he wants to put this in 61A, the Agriculture Act?
Yes.
That does not absolve
It
him.
isn't.
Nope, absolutely
It
not.
isn't now. It's not in 61A.
It's in process right now.
Fine, but this isn't agricultural right now. So you're trying to say that this is agricultural, but it isn't.
It's in process of.
I realize that, but it isn't.
But it isn't.
It isn't. So just, okay, all of a sudden it gets in there and this is all supposed to go away? Now we build the rink, we put a house close to the no-touch zone, we build the rink in the wetlands, everything's good? No.
And I let him put his swing set in without a permit. He asked me, I said, sure, it's for your
Yeah.
kid.
John,
Yes,
he needs another plan.
yes. We're gonna revise the plan somewhat, but at the same time, there's gotta be some hard give and take.
No, it doesn't have to be give and take. You have the law, go
Yes,
by
we
the
do.
law, and don't tell us to break
Oh,
with our bylaw or with the state law to
Yeah.
accommodate your client.
I would never tell you to break any laws, but at the same time, I believe you shouldn't be overstepping the same boundaries when it comes to cleanups and all the other stuff that my client was not
We're
responsible
not
for.
overstepping our boundaries, there's violations there.
There are, and if you can prove that he performed them, all the better. But at the same time, we'll revise the plan.
Please
And,
do.
we're gonna get a revised plan to you. They'll have accommodations, and we'll have the planting plan.
But you understand what we're talking about as far as the addition, the paddock is in a bad location, the ring is in a bad location, and I just don't understand where this drive is going, except that it's going through wetlands. There's nothing back there that it can be used for, because everything is wet.
Well, that roadway has been there for ages. They used to utilize that at one time to access the land in the back, from the neighbors. Right,
Okay,
I've seen it
Right.
previously.
yeah,
okay, the previous plan said road to be abandoned.
yep. And that's exactly what's gonna happen with it,
I
because
don't-
that's
I
the area that we're gonna
I don't
restore.
think that's right.
He's,
Well, no, that was on a,
I know,
didn't write
but that's not right. If you've got an existing roadway through the woods.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
No, he agreed.
Wait, no, Lisa,
Yeah.
let me finish. I don't want to see anybody's plan that says an existing roadway and has to be abandoned on someone's property because somebody says so. If it's an existing roadway that's been there for a long time,
It's a cart
even
path.
if it's wet,
Well,
you can use it when it's dry. But
if it's a
yours
car path,
and
it's
it's
even
there,
worse,
it
because if
belongs
it's a
to
car
you.
path, there may be legal rights to access for somebody in the back.
But this is not what the problems are with this plan. The problems are the house, the rink, and everything else that's in the wetlands. He needs to adjust that section.
And show plantings.
Yeah, what's gonna be planted, and there was something else there, the storage area, stockpile.
Yeah, stockpiling, yeah.
This plan had a paddock in the same spot.
It did, but he was proposing much more extensive restoration. See, if you look at the table down below, was there a table
Yeah,
on
he had
yours, Charlie?
over 22,000 square feet of restoration on that plan.
And your plan is?
My plan is basically on the backside, that's about 14,000 square feet.
Okay, so you're gonna come back with, a new plan for us that we can find acceptable.
I'm gonna come back with a plan that's not the same as this, and it'll take into account your comments.
Okay, John, thank you.
I don't know if anyone in the audience has any questions, or if we worked it over pretty good. Okay, is there a motion to continue to September 15th?
Make a motion, we continue, Cedar Street till September 15th.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
thank you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have to vote to approve an emergency certificate form received from the Dayton Highway Department, repair of a culvert on the North Street at Linton Stream.
Why are these,
I asked for public input.
okay, no, I'm wondering why the ladies are here.
Hi. You just visiting?
Okay.
Yeah, I got a letter. I didn't have to show up. It has something to do with Lincoln Avenue, gas line on Lincoln Avenue.
Oh, yeah, he actually didn't end up filing yet, so he was gonna bring you a new letter for the September meeting. He's just putting a gas line through his yard, but it's not on tonight, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
See, I got a letter.
But you're having fun tonight though, right?
Yes,
Set to come the 18th.
Yeah, I know, she,
We'll do that then.
she dropped them off prematurely and then didn't get the rest of the paperwork ready.
Oh, great.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
No
That's okay.
problem.
we'll go away.
Yeah.
No, you can stay as long
Yeah,
as.
you can stay. Did you bring any cookies?
You know what, I'm not going to do it, but I did today. Next time I will.
They deserve them, yeah.
So far, I say yeah.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the emergency certificate from the Highway Department?
Yeah, I, make a motion, we accept the emergency certificate.
Tom was here for that,
Is he?
yeah.
Okay. You're gonna tell us about, we know what it's all about, Tom, we're just gonna approve it for us, for the emergency work.
Any questions?
I I don't have any.
Yeah, I do. Where is it, Tom? No,
That's Charlie's phone, so he can hear people.
So just before the town line on North Street, just before the last driveway on the right, we have a culvert crossing the street there that failed. There should be pictures for that packet. We're gonna be, we'll be planning on working with Lisa for after filing. I believe we're gonna go for the RDA,
Yep.
for possibly your next meeting.
okay, but it's on North Street,
Yes,
not Chestnut.
correct.
North. As you're heading north on Chestnut, as you're heading north on North, from Chestnut, how far in are you at that culvert?
Almost at the Rehoboth line.
Correct. Probably 50 yards from the town line.
50 yards inside the town
Yep.
line? Okay. That's all the way, that's quite a way up there. All right, I know right where it is, okay. I just wanted to
Okay.
get it clear in my head.
All right.
Yes, absolutely, Tom, fix that culvert.
He already did.
You already did. So that's why I asked for a motion to approve the emergency certificate form.
I had you sign it last month.
Right, so I'll be filing after the fact.
I take care of our own, within reason.
Right.
Taking advantage of your good nature here, you just,
With that, and we're taking advantage of the dry weather, because that would be an area you definitely would want work in, just a dry area.
good.
Okay, Jack made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, pass.
And then the next item involves you in the future.
The next item is related to that too.
Yeah.
We need to give consent, we're just at home most of the time.
To
Lisa
issue
is
emergency
available
certification
4 days a week.
request on the
She'll
highway
give you
department.
Permission
Or on the
to issue
applicant.
or sign emergency requests. That's the purpose of this next line.
I have no objection to that.
I don't either, but what does it mean, other applicants?
What?
It means that anybody that has an emergency, because he's not the only one, the state may have an emergency. Electric company might have an emergency.
Water department.
Yeah. And enforcement orders, I should have that authority too, which I've already taken advantage of doing that, and then have you ratify at the next meeting.
Well, that's,
Anybody who issues an enforcement order, any
Any of
commissioner
us.
can issue an order,
Great.
still has to be ratified at the next meeting.
Of course.
So you're a member of the commission.
Yeah.
okay,
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Next item, Jim.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm writing this down.
What?
Wellington Street tonight.
Okay, vote to approve a request for a certificate of compliance at 2648 County Street, DEP file number 17-380.
Moving right along.
Where is this?
This is Percy's land.
Who?
Percy Kingsley's land. Heading,
Is that driveway,
yeah,
On
the
the-
replication. So he had requested, he actually
Percy
requested.
Kingley's been dead a long time.
It's not his anymore, right? This is owned by Sean Mello. It was owned by Joseph Ferreira, Fatima 123 Realty Trust, Joe Motta, you know, he comes here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just across the street from the old apple orchard.
Yes.
Oh, now I know where we are.
There's a vernal pool that's certified out there.
Yep.
Okay. So they've come before you for a partial sign off. You've already done that.
Yeah.
Now they're looking for the complete. What happened was they finished the replication after the fact instead of before. Typically like them to get the replication done before they finish the project. And there were some issues because they graded it wrong based on the
Yeah.
survey. And we went out and said, you know, the neighbor had a problem with the grade of it, it dropped right down. So we had them regrade it and replant.
This is the property.
Yeah, 2648. So
Okay.
this is the,
Okay, motion to issue a certificate of compliance?
Yeah, I make a motion that we, issue the compliance order for 2648, excuse me, County Street.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Oh, we gotta print this one here. Okay, we need to approve establishing an account for pass-through monies from applicants that will be used for the payment of legal ads posted in the Taunton Gazette. Okay, so because of difficulties.
Set up a,
no, we don't have an accountant right now. They're waiting for you guys to vote on setting up an account before, on those two items.
Okay, is there a motion to set up that account?
I make a motion, we set up, an account to pay the Taunton Gazette.
Bill,
Second.
all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Okay. The next one is to approve establishing an account for collection of monies from applicants for the wetland boundary signs supplied by the commission that may be required in orders of conditions. So, that's those, our little placards that will go at the 25.
We shot one already. We shot one already. We gave one away.
I know.
He's gonna come back and pay double for it. Now, we already got the price figured out on the previous meeting. Is there,
I make a motion that we, where are we? Approve, the thing for the wetland boundary signs.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, discuss and approve, Beta NRAD review estimates of $6,800 for Pleasant, Maine and Elm Street.
They have two of them. We're approving one at a time. One was the original, and then they submitted the second one because there are circumstances on that site that require equipment, special equipment, and so they issued a second.
A second amount?
Yep.
Is there enough money in that account to pay for the two?
I believe so.
So we got $6,800 on the agenda
The
now.
account hasn't been set up yet. They haven't worked on it yet.
Oh, they haven't worked on it yet,
These are
okay.
These are estimates.
Okay, but, so we wanna, they've been there already though, this is the bill for 6,800?
No, this is an estimate of $6,800.
Oh, discuss and review estimate, okay.
Yes.
So why don't we just continue on?
Well, we,
This is for Zeneca, right?
yes, Zeneca.
Cut and dry. They gave us a price.
Yeah.
If we want them to do it, we vote on it.
And what was the second price?
The second price was,
Oh, $3,450.
yeah, one $6,800 and the other, the second one was,
$3,450. Okay, let's do the first one here. Are we going to approve Beta's NRAD at $6,800 to do the Zeneca property?
So moved.
Jack, second?
Yeah, second it.
All in favor?
aye.
Okay, now associated with that is the special equipment estimate from Beta of $3,450 for the same site.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Jack,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so, Zeneca's agent then they have to be aware of the roughly, was it 10,000 plus? 10,250, thereabouts.
Charlie, will you send that to them? Will you take care of that?
Yes, I'm going to set up a 53G account.
Okay.
Okay. Review and discuss and approve beta invoice number 4 in the amount of $5977.50 for Forest Hill subdivision.
Make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
Did you second that?
Was there a second?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Did you hear that phone go off? Did you hear the phone go off?
No.
No. It's my wife.
Oh.
She's in the hospital, just had a hip replacement.
She's in the hospital?
Yeah.
I thought she was home.
She's screaming at me that the Red Sox are losing, and they got this stupid pitcher in that gave up 4 runs to Pittsburgh.
Oh my God, that would be my mother.
She must be.
Okay.
Must be some kind of pain medication.
Okay, review and discuss and approve beta invoice.
Those Red Sox really going downhill, I'm sorry.
Okay, review and discuss and approve Beta's invoice number 5 in the amount of $23.83 for Forest Hill subdivision.
Make a motion, we approve that invoice.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fast.
Don't scribble.
They can read mine.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
that one, 3 pages. Okay, review and discuss and approve Beta's invoice number 5 in the amount of,
We just did 5,
okay, that,
Tim.
we just did that one, okay.
Try 6.
Review and discuss and approve Beta's invoice number 6 in the amount of $142.06 for Forest Hill subdivision.
So
Make-
moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this is it. Here. Now, the next item here is to discuss a request from myself to ask the Board of Selectmen for a part-time commission employee to file documents and other clerical work as required. This would be in assistance to Lisa, maybe something up to, for filing in these cabinets. She's been going to so many meetings and so much field work that it seems to be an impossibility for her to get all the filing done in the office.
The office is in shambles.
You mean you're not a good housekeeper? Okay. Okay, do we have any discussion on that?
I'm not opposed to it, but all we can do is ask, and maybe we can get.
Now, Lisa, you said that there's, I gotta sign here somewhere.
Yeah, every page, I keep telling you that.
I'm thinking like maybe 5 hours a week, if that, not very much.
Now, there is someone already at Town Hall that might be able to
There may be.
slide in to do that.
We'll get
Well, let's hear from our selectmen. Is this a possibility to get someone to assist Lisa in these cabinets? I mean, she's got just
Thousands of dollars of cabinets that aren't filled.
Oh, no, I get it. And we also recognize the wonderful job that Lisa does. So a request like that is taken seriously. The only issue right now is how soon would you want this person to start?
Yesterday.
Because the thing is,
We didn't request it.
it hasn't been requested, so then we'd have to go looking for the money. If that be the case, then someone needs to talk to Michael. And if Michael can find the money, we'll put it on the agenda and we'll vote. I don't know how my brothers are gonna
I'll give it
vote.
my salary.
I'll support it.
Mine too.
But,
I'll donate my salary.
The other option is, and this you'd have to move kind of fast on,
Yeah.
is get it on the warrant for the fall meeting out of free cash.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So if we,
If it was that much of a hurry,
I don't know, I mean, it's just, when you walk in the office,
yeah, I walk in.
look at Kerry's side. It's
I
clean.
see files on the ground that are not in the file cabinet.
Charlie, day one, as a member of the Board of Selectmen, I walked into that office and I said, "Where's Lisa's secretary?" She doesn't have one. I said, you know, she shares with someone. She definitely needs someone.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
okay, so if we vote tonight to make a request for you
Right.
people
To the select board.
to the
Absolutely.
select board,
Absolutely.
okay. Lisa, now, you.
But I'd also would s-
talk 5 hours a week, is that sufficient?
Up to five. Yeah, I mean, you know, Charlie did it all on his own before, everything,
That's why,
right?
that's why we can't find that Brick Street. It's a
It's just-
daunting task.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
these files that are coming in.
no, I mean, yeah, I want my files to be organized. I want in the future us to be able to find things.
Oh, like that order of conditions we issued for Brook Street.
This,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
If
do have-
you vote this evening, I will send the request to Michael.
Okay,
Put it on the agenda for Wednesday night's meeting. We still have time.
okay,
I will need on Monday, however, before 4:30, a letter to Michael.
You'll get that.
So it's
Okay.
in the packet for that. Then a follow-up conversation with Mike to see if he can find some money.
yeah,
And if not, then we'll have to proceed for the warrant, which has to be in by the 14th of September.
The letter be emailed, or you want it,
Well, it's going to Michael, you can email it to him, but I just need a vote tonight. And then I'll text him as soon as, and say, please put this on the agenda for Wednesday night.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
the vote?
Okay, do we have a motion to,
Make a motion there that we approach the select board about a part-time clerical work to help out Lisa.
Second.
up to 5 hours, Lisa?
Yeah.
Up to 5 hours a week,
Yeah, yeah.
okay?
How are they gonna get somebody for 5 hours a week?
Well, if someone's already there working.
someone that maybe already is working at the town, wants a little more hours,
Okay, try it.
maybe?
No. We, for CPC, we set up a protocol where the first right of refusal are members of the union, which is the secretaries that work in town hall. So it would go, they would have the first right of refusal.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. What is the town meeting date?
September?
Well, no, it'll be in October, I'm not exactly
October.
sure, but the request would have to be in by the September 14th meeting.
Okay.
But we can do this, if Michael finds money available now, then you're good for a period of time. As far as beyond September 14th, you still got time to make that request.
Right, got it. Thank you.
Hey, mister,
That's not his.
No, that's Charlie.
That's Charlie's. I got my ears. That's Charlie's.
Those are my ears. I put them there so I can hear
Oh,
applicants,
all
so I
right,
can hear
okay.
you.
Okay.
Okay, Bill Frenette is on to talk about the
You
recent
recuse
storm.
yourself?
I certainly did. I'm over here.
Well, he's just gonna talk about it now. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, I'm still getting silt into my wetlands from the construction site across the street. It's been going on for 6 years. I would love it if that lot was stabilized finally. And I don't want any more silt in my wetlands. You gotta do something about this. That's what the Conservation Commission is supposed to do, is protect wetlands.
Lisa now, okay. I haven't been there recently.
Right.
What
Last
condition is
heavy
the?
rainstorm that we had, my driveway ran into my pond. What can I do? I've got to come to the commission to help me out?
This lot has been, silt has been running off this lot for 6 years. You gave him you gave him 3 enforcement orders and told him to stop. It hasn't stopped. It's still coming off his property. In great form. I sent you pictures. You can see it coming out of, you can see it coming into my wetlands.
Those are the same pictures you've been sending me for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, why don't you do something about it?
Because
Maybe we ought to petition the
Had
town to put
diversions
in
there.
manholes.
There's too many people talking. I can't hear you both.
Maybe we ought to petition the town to put in manholes. Would that satisfy you?
No, I want that lot stabilized, so there's no more, once that lot's stabilized, there's gonna be no more. That whole Richmond Hill is stabilized. There's only one lot on that whole hill that's not stabilized. That's where the silt's coming from.
his driveway is gravel, is it not?
It's what?
Stone, stone.
Yeah, it's gravel.
Stone driveway,
Yes.
No, it's dirt.
crushed stone.
I sent you pictures of they've been picking up material in the back of the house and putting it in the front of the house. They got it piled up there. It's not protected. It's supposed to be protected. It's not. All the material that they pile up in front of that house has never been protected.
Okay, now, is this something also for stormwater, since?
No, this is conservation. This is silt running into a wetland, Jim. You can't put it off on stormwater.
No, I'm not trying to put it off, but up top is not wetlands, that is truly our jurisdiction. Our jurisdiction begins much closer.
Jurisdiction is the ditch in front of his property. Then a 25 and 50 and 100-foot buffer. That's it.
And that whole area is now outside of that jurisdiction, except for his driveway, where it may be running down.
How about the wetlands on my property? Is that under your jurisdiction? The wetlands on my property
You would think
Yes.
so.
that's been silted up for the last 6 years.
That brook runs through your property, always has.
What?
The brook.
Oh, yeah,
It runs through your property.
absolutely.
When did you dam it?
When did I dam it?
Yeah, when did you put the ponds in?
61, 62, 63, in that area.
So you never filed with the commission?
There was no commission, Charlie. There was no building inspector. There was no conservation commission.
Technically, what you did was an alteration. It isn't now.
No, I
but
did, there was,
if
there was.
it was
there
an
was-
alteration
how-
from
I-
Mr.
There was
Moitozo.
no regulations on wetlands when I did it.
Here's my point. Mr. Moitozo has wetland restorations that he's required to do that he didn't make.
The what?
People before him, owners before him, made these problems, and now he's gonna have to answer for it.
Who?
Moitozo, 1566 Cedar Street,
What the hell's that got to do with me?
same thing. Those are unauthorized ponds.
They are not unauthorized ponds, Charlie.
Yes, they are.
They are like hell. I made them myself on my property.
But who permitted it?
Nobody had to. There was no restrictions anywhere on building a pond. None. No conservation commission in the state of Massachusetts.
So it was before 75?
He said 60, in the
It's
60s.
in the early 60s.
I don't know what to tell you. What he's doing.
Well, why don't you tell him to stop running silt into my wetlands? That would help.
But they run through your wetlands too.
They
run
what?
through your ponds and they keep going down into the Taunton River. No?
Yeah, they do on a good heavy wind, on a good heavy rain.
The only
they would do.
reason they stop is because you built ponds.
They what?
The only reason that you have a siltation problem, because you built a pond in a brook.
Jesus, I'm sorry about that.
You built two of them.
I shouldn't have built
No, I mean,
ponds.
it's just what
I built
happens.
ponds to water my
So when
livestock.
it gets into your pond, it moves around a little bit, then it runs over into the next pond and keeps going. Sometimes it drops silt in one of your ponds.
All the times it drops silt. There's like 3 feet of, there's at least 3 feet of silt in my upper pond.
We've been through this almost every meeting.
Yeah, so why don't you fix
I
it?
can't see anything that we can do about it.
Yes, you can. You can make this guy stabilize his lot. Like it's over 6 years and the lot's not stabilized.
But the problem is, if dirt's running off his lot, we told you before, we can't pinpoint where it's running off into the ditch.
All you have to do, like you did, is to stand at the end of the driveway and watch that silt and dirty water come down and filling in the swale alongside of the road and running down the road, going underneath Hart Street into my wetland.
If I could have said that's coming off of his property, I couldn't have said that because I didn't know. I don't know. It could have been coming off to the east.
No, it wasn't, Lisa. When you stood there and took pictures of that drainage ditch, it was coming down his driveway. You took pictures of that. You took pictures of it running off the edge of his driveway, about 8 inches off the edge of his driveway. You took photographs of that. You took photographs of the swale that was full of silt, and you said, wow, I've never seen it like this before.
So the swale is also full of silt.
The what?
The swale, the intermittent stream, is full of silt.
Yes.
That's another issue, if it's running. So where is the silt? It's coming from multiple places?
No, it's coming from one place. The only lot on the whole hill that's not stabilized. That's where it's coming from. Where else could it be coming from? Are you trying to say it's coming from the one next door?
That topsoil, I believe, all runs off. It's a natural phenomenon anyway, right?
It what?
It's a natural phenomenon that the
What the hell
tops.
does that mean?
Look at that hill. That hill is always.
All that water that comes off that hill goes underneath Hart Street and comes on my property.
Right.
And it's always been clean and clear.
Not always.
Yes. Well, ever since.
I've been there when it ran down the road and it was dirty coming from every direction. And that last rainstorm we had, almost a 3/4 of an inch of rain in maybe 20 minutes. Nothing is, except the asphalt driveway is gonna stop that from siltation.
So a little bit of silt into my wetland is okay, but not a lot?
Your pond.
Wetlands. It's completely bordered by skunk cabbage on all sides. Well, no, not all sides. The upper pond has got skunk cabbage that goes all the way around it. The lower pond has got skunk cabbage on the south end, and the skunk cabbage runs all the way to the walls in the back of my property where the stream goes now. The stream is always going in the same direction. I never moved the stream at all. I made ponds and dammed them to water my livestock 55 years ago, 60 years ago.
You have livestock now?
Huh?
You have livestock now?
Always have livestock. Had cows.
Lisa, could you call DEP and ask them for suggestions on,
Again?
you did already,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
I did it in 2020, at the beginning of 2021.
And their response?
They've never seen a case where an applicant has one site here, it goes through multiple layers of properties and then lands over here. And, I mean, it's not like it's right next door, it's traveling down a road in a stream.
It's across the street.
But it goes and then down, so it's being filtered through.
Countryside drainage.
It's
We
what?
have, it's countryside drainage.
Countryside drainage.
They call the ditch, the intermittent stream is called countryside drainage.
And
Okay.
you have to really stretch the Wetland Act to call it an intermittent stream.
Right,
It has no beginning except when it rains.
right.
Stream is even intermittent.
Oh,
stream.
no.
That drainage.
During the
ditch is
wet
not-
season, that stream runs, that little,
That's a drainage trench.
We said it was an intermittent stream when a proposal to build houses on all that land was put forward, a 40B proposal.
right.
That's when we decided there was an intermittent stream.
Well, I don't care what you call
Oh,
the
okay.
drainage ditch along the road. What I'm concerned about is the silt that's been running into my wetlands for the last over 6 years. Why did you give him 3 enforcement orders if he wasn't violating?
At the time they needed enforcement orders, there were no protection at all.
There's still none.
Every time we issued orders, he complied. Every time. He complied to our satisfaction. He put swales in the road to divert water, several of them.
Didn't work,
Those
it
were
didn't
all
work, did
required by
it?
the commissions.
It didn't work.
You have a better plan then.
Yeah, make him stabilize the damn lot.
No, he's tried that, he's done everything.
What do you mean
we
he's
asked
tried
him.
that? It's never been stabilized, and he's got a new project
What
going
I'm
right now.
asking you is,
How does he have a new project going on?
Well, I don't know what he's got going, but he dug up a pile of dirt behind the place like he has been doing for a long time. It's piled up alongside of his house where his garage is, and he's got some, I sent you pictures. Take a look at them.
I think what he's trying to do is stabilize his driveway, which is what you want him to do, right?
This is not stabilizing his driveway. He's got a footing across this high, and wooden footing across this way, and a pile of dirt behind it. I don't know what he's doing, I don't care what he's doing. But what I'd like him to do, and what I'd really appreciate if you guys would make him stabilize the lot. He's put a lot of time and money into building his house. I wish to hell he could plant
first of
some
all,
grass.
we have issued everything, and he has complied with whatever.
No, he hasn't. He has not complied with it. Why do you keep saying
your
that?
opinion.
He didn't register his order of conditions. He tore the last order of conditions you
No,
gave
that
him,
was
he
an
tore it
enforcement
up.
order. It was an enforcement order. He tore it up, but he complied anyway.
I'm not making excuses, but he has done everything I've asked him to do.
You should be an engineer, and you should know exactly what he needs to do to stop that silt runoff on his property.
Well, he's added everything I've asked him to do.
But why is it still running silt off the property?
Because the good Lord makes it rain, and you happen to live below him.
We have more
Water
intense
runs
rain.
downhill.
Yeah.
There were 6 lots that got built there. The worst 2 were 6 and 5. There was no problem with them lots because everybody complied to what we needed to do. We all worked together.
Before he went there and those other lots, you were already talking about the vernal pool down at the end, that there was getting silt in it, and it was dying.
No.
And then he came along.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I think what we gotta do,
You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. And you've sat here through all of this, Bill, with all the enforcement orders and everything else. And I think if you really want to solve this, let's get the town involved. We'll make them put manholes all the way down through. They can hire a vac truck. They can clean it. What do you mean that's ridiculous? That's what you're asking us.
All he's gonna do is stabilize his lot.
What do you want him to do? Go out there and throw his body across the thing?
No, I want him to,
Every
I
time-
want him to grass his yard here.
Okay, all right, let's
stop
end
over
this.
the soil
We're getting too animated here,
No,
and
you just don't, I think you're afraid of him and you don't want to confront him. That's what that's the feeling I
You've
get.
signed some of the orders yourself.
I can't hear you, John.
I said
Okay.
you signed some of the enforcement orders yourself.
we have done our best as a commission to
No, you
get
haven't.
this silt to stop.
He's done nothing that you,
That
his-
he has done
his order of
everything
conditions-
that I have seen him asked, and like as Charlie has said, when
His
it
house
rains.
is out of our jurisdiction. It's way
all he's
beyond
gotta do
our-
is stabilize the lot. And it would stop. And you should go over there and
Okay,
find it.
would you tell us how he's to stabilize it? And
that-
I'm gonna leave it at that, and I'm gonna go on to the next item.
All he's gotta do
because
is seed
we
it up,
have given-
grass it up, and put in a lawn, and that'll stabilize it.
I think there's been so much topsoil maybe gone from the farming, that's probably what he's doing
Gone
is
from what?
using loam that he has on the property, the pile, to be able to seed and stabilize. Hopefully, he's gonna finish his driveway. I requested that he contact us to finalize everything, the sooner the better.
I don't care about his driveway, but his whole lot, including the property behind the house.
We don't have
Should
any
be stabilized.
jurisdiction over
We
it.
don't have jurisdiction for behind the house. Our jurisdiction starts with that intermittent stream at the front. There's a 25 undisturbed vegetation zone, and that is undisturbed. And then a 50-foot no-build zone, and then a buffer zone. He's way beyond our jurisdiction. We don't have jurisdiction about that house.
How about my wetlands?
I can't help you. Water runs, the good Lord makes it rain, it runs, it goes where it has to go.
Yes. Does
doesn't
it have to
stop
be,
it,
does
though.
it have to be full of silt, or can it be
Can I make a
clean?
request? There's one thing you can do right now. You could put a silt fence at the top of your stream.
At my stream? You want me to, oh
Do
my.
you want to protect it? Put it there, okay?
I want him to
Let's-
stop filter, why should I do that?
Why not?
Nothing is gonna grow right now in this drought.
I don't
Nothing.
care about right now, Jim.
We have to move on.
Okay, we will move on. Enforcement order on Horton Street.
There's nothing new to report. They haven't started it.
Okay, the
They're
complaint,
starting it in September.
the complaint at 2050, Horton?
Nothing new to report on that.
We approved the restoration
What's
plan.
zero Horton Street enforcement order?
Yeah, but there's nothing new to report.
What was that? What was that? I couldn't hear you.
He said we approved the restoration plan at our last meeting. Yes, we did, but there's nothing new to report.
No, they're not gonna start any work until
September.
September.
Hot Street, 578.
Yep, I think we
That's
just.
the one we were just
covered
talking
that.
about.
All right. Okay, let's go to 2371.
Well, what's
County.
the disposition on the request for an RDA?
Okay, Lisa, 2371 County Street enforcement order.
2371 County Street enforcement order. Our site visit in April resulted in DEP discussing us having a stakeholder meeting. They understand that the gentleman is not in compliance. He's not in compliance with stormwater either. Last I spoke with Jaway from DEP, she was gonna be setting up a stakeholder meeting.
Set up a what?
A stakeholder meeting. It's not a site, I know what Charlie had noted that it was gonna be a site visit, but it's not gonna be another site visit, it's gonna be a stakeholder meeting.
Which is what?
We're gonna talk about the enforcement and moving forward and whether or not they're gonna fine them and,
Okay.
Yeah.
1035 Williams.
Yeah, so he has retained Outback, and we have set up a site visit for when I return from my vacation.
Okay, Wellington,
Also, so they have retained Stephen Schmiel, and Stephen Schmiel flagged the site. Lighthouse Engineering provided me with a plan. We had a site visit on Monday afternoon. Lighthouse picked out several disturbed areas in the 25-foot no-touch that they have disturbed, and they agreed to let them revert naturally. There's enough ground cover and things to know that it's going to happen on its own. The plethora out there is crazy, so I figure by next spring we should be able to see something. They are submitting a restoration proposal. There is an issue along the roadway where they have built a stone retaining wall of some sort. It's questionable whether they built that on their property or the town right-of-way. They were trying to retain some of the dirt from coming off. It really drops off there. And I guess there's an issue with the hydrants being released. It shoots off. So there's a bunch of erosion and sedimentation that's occurring, not in the wetland, but adjacent. I've brought this to DPW's attention. Maybe we'll have a site visit so we can talk about whether they should keep that wall there, whether there should be some sort of drainage. Something needs to happen.
okay. Clearway,
Clearway, the erosion controls are in and being maintained. The site was cleared. They've gravelled the road. Restoration won't happen until the fall of the disturbed vernal pool and 25-foot no touch. But they do continue to provide us with weekly updates. I emailed everyone a copy. You don't do email, would you like a paper copy? Okay, and then there is a new project manager. So when the last site inspection report came out last week, I corrected them and made sure that they were including the new project manager. There seems to be a lot of companies involved.
okay, 1861 Somerset Ave.
So that one's still up in the air. They had been told they needed to hire a wetland scientist and a surveyor because it looks like they're trying to build a driveway and a retaining wall. They've definitely done disturbance in our area. I followed up with them because I reached out to Lighthouse and asked if they had been retained, and they said no. So I followed up with them yesterday. The owner said I needed to speak with her boyfriend because she didn't know. And her boyfriend called and said that he was under the impression that Lighthouse was gonna come stake everything out, but Lighthouse hasn't actually been retained. I can clarify that with them when I get back from vacation, that they need to retain them, and if they plan to move forward with any of their project, including restoration, they need to retain someone.
Okay, 0 Williams,
Zero Williams, their intent was to perk, and I think the boyfriend went a little crazy with some machinery. Next thing you know, there was disturbance in the wetland and in the buffer zone. They retained Chris Capone to do the wetland flagging. Wetland flagging was checked by me in the vicinity of the perk. That's all staked out, including the 25-foot no touch. They requested to continue and schedule the perk, and I told them yes, as long as they had erosion controls up. They ordered mulch logs, really large, good ones, and I inspected them this week. They look good. So their perk is gonna be done much further than 100 feet to the wetland, but they know they'll be having to do some restoration out there.
okay, 1969 Horton,
So that one's kind of unusual. The owner moved out. It was a foreclosure. The owner actually had to be involved with the cleanup of the property. So, I did speak with the building department because that letter just got signed by the postmaster instead of by them, even though it was sent certified. Basically, I reached out to the new company that's, I don't know, property maintenance company or whoever the bank's using, this group in Fall River, and I sent him a copy of the notice of violation. He assured me that the site is going to be redeveloped, so they're gonna have to put in a new septic. They're gonna have to get the wetlands flagged, and at that time, we can, you know, show them the area that was, the area in the wetland and the buffer zone and the no-touch that was disturbed, get some restoration at that point.
Okay, 975 Stonegate.
Okay, so this one, actually had a verbal complaint that there was some cutting being done in a wetland. I went out there and sure enough, they were right against the edge. As you know, these lots are really small. However, you know, she was trying to make a bigger yard for her kids. Well, those lots are small. A lot of them have extensive wetlands. She didn't know that she had wetlands when she bought the property. I explained everything to her, and she understands that if she wants to move forward, she needs to get the wetlands flagged, and we need to figure out where the 25-foot no-touch is before she can add on to her yard. So at this point, they stopped cutting, they left the down trees there. At this point, everything's on hold for that.
Okay.
She's gonna see if she can afford the project now.
Application for the commission from David Phillips.
Yeah, we got that came in today. I think it was gonna go
And
on.
you survived the meeting.
I'm here, learning. It's on your agenda.
It's somehow Charlie put it on, but it needs to go on the next agenda probably, yeah, cause it.
Can
Yeah.
you vote on it tonight?
I don't think we can, cause it wasn't on the agenda in time, yeah.
Yeah, this happened pretty quick, so.
Yeah, Dave
As
wants.
soon as you vote on it, we'll vote on it.
We could vote to ask the selectmen to appoint David on the commission.
But it's not on your agenda for
It
tonight.
is.
Well, I mean,
Application
it
for
wasn't,
Conservation Commission from David Phillips Jr., 1261 Main Street, Dayton.
but Charlie, it wasn't on in time, it needs to be posted 48 hours. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not. Mr. Higgins will get upset. No. Do it, I mean, you don't have an immediate need.
yeah.
If it doesn't happen until September 14th,
No, doesn't matter. He'll still be here, and we probably will be too.
I hope so.
Okay, so that's gonna go, so September 15th, Charlie.
You're a junior?
Yes,
Dad's still alive or not?
yes. We were just talking about you today. I said, I'm going to see Charlie. He goes, well, make sure you say hi to him.
Okay,
He says hi.
okay. Any public input?
Yes.
Good or bad?
Mr. Fredette, what
Yes.
I'm about to say is not being sent.
I can't hear you.
What I'm about to say is not in disrespect to you.
Okay.
It is of love for this town and a concern for the Conservation Commission. This issue in regarding you and your neighbor has created a great deal of tension on the Conservation Commission and has put your agent in a very difficult position, having to rule possibly adversely against her boss. With that being said, I would ask that the chairman of the Conservation Commission speak to the town administrator, since you do not have legal funds, to turn this matter over to town council and let them make a ruling as to where the parties stand on this issue. I heard it said this evening that the Conservation Commission does not have jurisdiction. If that is the case, and I'm not a lawyer, then that matter would be a private matter that would need to go to land court. I think the best way to end a division would be to let town council give you some direction and a ruling as to how to proceed. Now, I understand the conservation does not have a legal budget, so you would have to request that through the Board of Selectmen, through Mike Mullen. And I would strongly advise you to go that route. You'd have a party that would be independent, who would be making a decision based on the law. And hopefully the parties involved will respect that decision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's public input. Can we vote on that?
Well, the only thing you can vote is whether you want to have your chairman speak or proceed with that.
I can't vote.
Well, he asked if the chairman wanted to speak on it.
No, I'm writing it down. You,
Vote to allow the.
do you
Oh, yeah.
want me to go and talk to Mike Mullen?
I'll make a motion that we, ask for legal assistance.
Who's gonna pay?
All in favor?
Oh, all right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to get legal counsel for who's at blame, who's
Well,
to.
we're not a case of blame, but one, is it a matter for the Conservation Commission or is it a matter for land court?
Okay.
What areas can you specifically rule on? What areas are out of your jurisdiction? He may come back and say, all of it's out of your jurisdiction, it's gotta go to land court. Or he may say, these things you guys can rule on, these things you can't.
Thank you.
He may also recommend, and this is the part that I get a little nervous on, that they may request an independent party to be involved rather than Lisa, because Lisa
It's already
technically
represents
Lisa's
us.
boss. You know what I'm saying? And then at least you'd have legal backing, and I think it would be an independent party, so it would take some of the emotions out.
I have a question. Should we be discussing this driveway without the property owner being here?
Without the other person being here?
Yes,
I'm not a lawyer, but it's my opinion, no. You should.
that's mine too.
But a lawyer would, you know what I'm saying? He would, Matt Costa probably, from Gay and Gay, would be the one who would advise you.
You need a request in writing?
I'm sorry?
You need a request in writing or just our chairman?
Well, I'll just go and say it was voted.
In writing, it would probably be less expensive. I mean, you could invite the lawyer to come to your meeting, but you know how that.
Oh, no, I thought you meant
No,
for me
you
to
don't
go
want
talk
to
to
do
him.
that.
To request the selectmen to provide legal representation. Because you hold the purse strings. We don't have any money.
Oh, no, I totally get that, and yes, I mean, obviously, you need a second vote on that, but you know, when you talk to Mike, Mike's gonna tell you the best way to go. Mike might just say, yeah, fine, I'll make the call and hook you up. But if Mike's gonna ask us to get involved, I will support that.
Okay.
So now it's just a matter of getting either Ken or Peter to also support it.
Close the meeting.
And I'm gonna let Mike know that you'll be
Okay.
talking.
Now, town hall's closed tomorrow. He's not here.
Right, but Monday's another day.
Yeah.
Before we close the meeting, we have another bill to pay for.
Okay. We have a bill to pay here from WB Mason in the amount of $49.60. Is there a motion to pay that bill?
So moved.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Under correspondence, are we still in correspondence, or do we not even get there yet? We did the public input.
Okay, correspondence?
Okay, we just have a letter here from National Grid, providing notice of planned and scheduled vegetation sideline maintenance work on the transmission right-of-way in Dayton, in accordance with our local bylaw. Please note that the notification is separate from any notification you will receive from floor maintenance. That's it. I mean, I could read the whole thing, but it pretty much says the whole thing over and over again. They use best management practices, which we know. So, include but are not limited to the use of tree climbers, tracked equipment, and seasonal frozen ground to ensure no long-term adverse effects within the wetlands. Trees are cut as close to the ground as possible and no grubbing will occur. The work will be conducted between 30 days from this letter, post dated above, and March 31st, 2023. If you have any questions about the work being conducted, please contact Jonathan Duval at 508-730-4007 or by email at jonathan.duval@nationalgrid.com. Sincerely, Mary Claire Rigby. And she works for National Grid.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
He made a motion?
To
How
adjourn.
about the time?
I'm just gonna say,
Well, yeah.
adjournment took place at 9:29.
You made the motion.
No, I did not make the motion. Bill made the motion,
Bill made the motion.
and I gave you the time.